Hi, this is Mr. West, Rossett's most stylish. I'm back in my favourite room, walking around my classroom to talk to you about the New Deal. Now, alphabet agencies and the New Deal tends to be a bit of a problem for a lot of students, getting all those details down of all the different, move that chair, of all the different agencies and what exactly it is that they did, all right? Let's start off. Agricultural Adjustment Act, AAA. The key word of those three, well, first two, agricultural means farming, and adjustment means changing, okay? And what they're actually changing is the amount of goods that have been produced by the farmers because of the problems of overproduction, okay? So what they're looking to do is to say to farmers, produce less so that the value of those goods goes up, okay? And that's essentially what it does, all right? It gives farmers money for not actually planting anything. That means that less goods are in the market and the value of those goods goes up, all right? CWA. Now then, this is a short-term loan, a short-term agency for the first winter. It creates a lot of jobs just for that first 6 months and that first winter of the New Deal. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Okay. PWA, same. Job creation scheme, but more longer term. And again, I'll talk more about that in a second when I have a sit down. Okay. Now then, TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority. And people always go, oh, Tennessee. It's a fact, Tennessee, yeah. But the big concern is that it's the 7 poorest states in America that it helps. All right? Tennessee Valley basically builds a series of dams to dam the river. Now, what that does is create jobs in building the dams, but it also creates the kind of tourism industry. People go boating on the lakes. It helps the agriculture as well as producing cheap electricity. It's one of the agencies that gets Roosevelt into hot water with the Supreme Court, because people are like, well, is that cheap electricity strictly constitutional? What about other electricity producers in the Tennessee Valley? But that's the essential principle of the job, okay? Now then, the NRA, National Recovery Act, is aimed, it's a bit like an old school new, fair trade, okay? It's about putting a Blue Eagle stamp on your stuff and saying, do you know what? We've made this with the NRA. And what does that mean? Well, it means that conditions for workers are better. Okay, they've adhered to a series of regulations to make sure that the workers are kept in decent pay and stuff like that, a bit like fair trade. And also the idea is that the NRA will allow you to basically sell more goods because you've got a situation where the consumer knows that you've got that stamp on there, so you've looked after your workers, okay? And then finally then, the CCC, Civilian Conservation Corps, basic principle, get young, under 25, unmarried men who are just sort of knocking about with nothing to do, get them into a kind of work camp environment where they can produce maybe like some nice bit of, plant some trees, sort out the conservation and things like that. And they'll get paid $1 a day plus their meals and so have somewhere to stay in the camp. They have to send $25 a month home, which is nearly all of what they earn, of course. So that helps the families back home. But it also helps those people that are young, unemployed, get some skills, gets their hands hardened, and gives them something to do. Now then, they're all agencies to do with the first New Deal, okay? Now, the second New Deal is based around, let's go the other way for the second New Deal, just to avoid dizziness and general congestion. Now, the second New Deal is based around several acts. The WPA is again part of the New Deal, Works Progress Administration, creating jobs again. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Okay, you've got the Wagner Act, okay, which is to try and keep up the rights of the worker to join trade unions. Again, there's been some problems about doing that. Is it unconstitutional? Okay, NRA declared or the NIRA, which is part of the NRA, declared unconstitutional. So the Wagner Act aims to remove that. And you've got the Social Security Act as well, which is aimed at people who are pensioners and handicapped, and basically says you've got old age pension, you've got some kind of benefits for handicap, which didn't exist before then, really. Okay, and you've got the Resettlement Administration. Again, the Agricultural Adjustment Act is declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. So what the RA, the Resettlement Act, does is to move farmers about, 500,000 farmers, try and reduce the amount of production of crops in a similar way as the AAA, but not quite in exactly the same way, in that it doesn't come unconstitutional, okay? So they all form part of the second New Deal. What I want to do now is move at pace over to the computer, where I've got some information about the different sort of agencies that we used to create jobs for the different people within America. Now, just 1 second, okay, 'cause it's gone off in the intensity of the situation. So, where are we with this? Well, first of all, we've got the... let me stand up here, actually. Let's get a bit better projection on the job. Okay, so, yeah. I don't know where you can see that, but first of all, we've got the CWA, okay? Now, hey, up, the CWA, okay? That's the winter of 33-34, okay? To help people who are struggling in that winter. It's about unskilled workers. It's done by Harry Hopkins, and it produces 800,000 kilometres of road, or repairs that amount, or new road, 40,000 schools, and 150,000 public toilets. Then you've got the PWA, okay? Again, part of that first New Deal. But this is designed to help skilled workers, okay? It's by Harold Ike, sorry. Makes 70% of American schools, 35% of American hospitals, and 50 military airports. Now, the aim of this is to try and build things of lasting value, all right? Whereas the top one, CWA, and the bottom one, WPA, are unskilled scenes, this one is all about skilled workers. Because what it doesn't want is to be accused of boondoggling. Now, boondoggle is like a useless thing that cowboys make, okay? When they've got anything better to do, it's just like plaiting leather or whatever. People said boondoggle, like scaring pigeons. Getting people to, like, you know, blow up balloons. That's not work. We want things of lasting value. But then the WPA, okay, 1935, unskilled, Hopkins again, it gives 8 million jobs in 8 years, mainly construction, but lots of jobs like arts, historians, photography and stuff like that. Now, people say to me, Mr. West, how do you know this is the order? Well, what I say is look at the letters on this side, okay? The top one, C, first letter in the alphabet. Then you've got P, that comes next in the alphabet, and then you've got W. So you know it's in alphabetical order, all right? CWA, okay, PWA, WPA. And then you know it's unskilled, skilled, unskilled. Now just remember that, okay? I know that's that. Then I can work out, because it's unskilled, it's Hopkins. Because it's skilled, it's Ikes. Because it's Hopkins again, because it's unskilled. And that's a really good thing. So for those free agencies that are used for public works, get yourself into a situation where you remember the alphabetical order of them. CWA, PWA, WPA. Unskilled, skilled, unskilled, okay? You're laughing then all the way to the exam, all right? Remember, can you tell me what these agencies mean? Yeah, give yourself a mark if you can. Can you tell me who each agency helps? Give yourself another mark if you can. And can you tell me how it helps them? Give yourself another mark if you can. And any additional facts and figures, give yourself another mark. Have a look through, set yourself up a little table and see what's what. And then you'll know which areas to focus on and which not. Here's my tip of the day. Second New Deal, all right? Let's be fair, most people are having a shocker with that one, so make sure it's not you.